Hey everybody, it's me. I am back from my board game convention in Canada. I decided kind of randomly that I wanted to do a reading vlog this week because I looked at my calendar and I actually have 3 Bookish events coming up back to back this week. So I am going to a local bookstore to see Leigh Bardugo for her Ninth House book tour. Then I'm going to a different local bookstore to see Felicia Day for her new book tour, which is about like creativity and the creative process and stuff. And then on Saturday and Sunday, the Seattle Antiquarian Book Fair is happening. And I just really want to go hang out and have like old books and drink wine and do fun activities. So I decided that I'm going to make a vlog this week. I haven't really done anything except get caught up on work today. I do want to give a couple mentions though. I wanted to first thank Rachel Marie from Rachel Marie's Book Journey for naming me as her booktuber of the week this last week. That is honestly like so sweet and thoughtful of you, and I did not expect that was going to happen in a million years, so thank you. Also, if you are just now finding my channel because of that, welcome. It's a cool place, I think, and I hope you'll stick around. Right now, I am taking a break from work making this little crochet hat. It's gonna try and be like Link's hat from Zelda, but purple. And yeah, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hi, Lily. So I just finished reading All the Bad Apples by Moira Fowley Doyle. It's this one, The Glare Kind of Sucks. Holy hell, this book was intense. All of her books come with like trigger warnings for rape, sexual assault, incest, that kind of thing. But this one in particular is a pretty like scathing examination of how one family is extremely like negatively affected by Ireland's ridiculously restrictive abortion laws. Like, it just makes me so mad reading about the situations that people were forced into when they were forced to have kids that they didn't want to have and were denied access to appropriate medical care. And then what happened to all of the kids that were born at these like mother and baby homes, they're called. If you've seen Call the Midwife, it's kind of like those places where they would send women who were pregnant, who were not married, and basically just like forcibly incarcerate them and put them in these like, in this book, they're like laundries, so they have to basically work all day with these caustic chemicals and like scalding hot water and stuff. And it was really intense to read about. And I know that there's been like a lot of really important activism going on in Ireland in the past, many years, but in the past year they were able to repeal their 8th Amendment, which was one of the biggest obstructions of like reproductive justice and healthcare there. And that's basically what this book is about. Moira Fowley Doyle said that when she started drafting this book in 2016, a lot of it was written out of rage about the injustice and inequalities that people faced in getting access to reproductive health care. The sort of twist in the book, I actually figured out what it was going to be in like the first chapter of the book. I think that was just a me thing though. I think it's because I've read a lot of stories like this, not exactly like this, but I've read enough where it's like, okay, it wasn't too hard to figure out, but that was cool, being able to predict what was going to happen there. And again, I really just love the way that she weaves different, like, almost magical realism, but it's more like mythological realism maybe, into her stories. Like, there are these banshee characters that keep showing up throughout the book, and it just made it such an experience to read, and I really enjoyed it. I also finished making that hat that I was showing you. It's really pointy. It started out like the pattern started out as one of Link's hats from like the Legend of Zelda games, but I was like, oh, I'm just gonna make this in a different color because I really want this multicolored hat. It kind of looks like it could be a basket if you carried it upside down. And I realized unintentionally, it actually looks like one of the Stardew Valley hats that you can buy from the little mouse that lives in the shack. It looks like the straight up party hat, and the yarn is chunky enough that the hat actually can stand up vertically while it's on my head without flopping over, assuming I'm not, headbanging or something like that. So I like how I inadvertently made a textile tribute to one of my favorite video games. I'll probably post it on Instagram later and be like, hey, fan art that's not just drawing, woo! So yeah, that's all I've got for right now. I have a couple other books that I'm working my way through. I'll probably start another one of the spooky ones though, just because I really enjoying getting to read my spooky books in October. And right now I'm also currently reading The Pretty One and Disabled People Destroy Science Fiction for Disability Readathon. But since those are essays and short stories and stuff like that, I'm not sitting down and reading a bunch of them back to back. I'm kind of taking my time getting through those. I will talk to you later. Hey y'all, it's Thursday. I am getting progressively more sick with this sinus thing. Feels like I have a battering ram trying to punch holes in my head. I know, puppy, I know. Anyway, today is the day that I get to go meet Leigh Bardugo, which is really exciting. I am super looking forward to that. I didn't get a whole ton of reading done yesterday because I wasn't feeling very well. This is me talking after having coughed a lot and coughed up a lot of really nasty, gross sinus nonsense. But yeah, I continued reading some of The Pretty One by Kia Brown for the Disability Readathon. I'm really enjoying reading it. I like reading books of essays a lot, so that's what I've got so far. I will probably be back when it's time to share some video of Leigh Bardugo's thing tonight. So I just got done with Leigh Bardugo's book signing. Oh my goodness. I feel really emotional about this. I feel like I didn't even... It's really exciting when you get to meet somebody whose writing you love so much. And at the same time, I feel kind of like it wasn't a thing that really happened, but it really did. It was just so wonderful. She was so kind and gracious. There were so many things that I wanted to tell her that I didn't have time because I got nervous and they were moving the lines so very quickly. But it was just incredible. Anyway, before I start getting more emotional, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna start reading Ninth House pretty soon, I think. It's definitely on my spooky TBR, but I didn't have it to hold up since the book just came out today, and I got a hold of this gorgeous hardcover and also a leather bookmark from the bookstore that I pre-ordered it from, which was really nice of them to make. It is a really pretty bookmark. So yeah, it's late. I'm gonna drive home now. I will check in again probably later tonight or early tomorrow, depending, and see you then. Hello everybody, it is Friday at last. I am just now wrapping up my morning writing session. I'm actually trying to give myself a stricter schedule that I need to stay on for when it comes to working on the writing that I'm doing. Which I don't think I talked about yet on this channel, but I'm actually working on writing a book right now. That is going to be my job. I am revisiting a novel draft for a fantasy novel that I first began in 2015 as part of NaNoWriMo, and I decided that I wanted to pick that up again and try and get it to actually be something resembling an actually finished novel that I could send out to publishers and stuff like that. So I'm working on that right now. I did about an hour's worth of writing. I'm going through the Nano Prep stuff that they have posted on their website. So most of what I did today was working on outlining the story and also the world building. And now I am taking a lunch break. And yeah, haven't done that much reading since I last checked in. I am getting closer to finishing The Pretty One, which I am really enjoying. But other than that, not much else to report. So see you in a minute. Hi, hello, it's me on a Monday because I realized that I didn't actually end last week's Bookish related vlog. I did do one other Bookish thing over the weekend, which was go to the Seattle Antiquarian Book Fair. I'll insert a little clip of it here, even though I didn't take much video footage otherwise. And yeah, basically it was just a collection of a bunch of different antiquarian book dealers from around the Pacific Northwest. Most of them were from Washington and Oregon. Some of them came from as far away as like Montana and Utah. It was totally amazing. I got to see some truly incredible books. I got to see first editions of Tolkien, of Winnie the Pooh, which just really made me like break down in tears because I love Winnie the Pooh so much. I got to actually like see and hold some original drawings and a copper plate by Arthur Rackham, who's one of my favorite illustrators. I didn't really end up doing much shopping while I was there because, again, antiquarian books are kind of a really expensive thing to get into collecting. But one thing I did appreciate a lot, aside from just the friendliness and like utter knowledgeability of everybody there, was that they actually did have a few little like separate displays, some of the stalls did, of more like affordable book collecting, so books that were no more than like $50 to buy, which, yes, $50 is a lot to pay for a book, but when you have books from like the 1500s that are going into the thousands, that's what's considered affordable by the standards of the show. So I bought this really amazing little conduct etiquette book for $25. It's called Don'ts for Girls, and it was annotated by this girl named Daphne who used to own it. And her editorials are just so amazing. Like, there are some things where she just writes true, like, don't laugh all the time, true. Don't be ashamed of your modest home if it is well kept, true. Then she wrote, don't be rude to boys. Don't know. And there was an amazing one about like, don't flaunt your diamonds and jewelry and stuff like that. And she writes, wear a diamond if you can get it. So it's like this amazing sass that this girl had written inside of this like book about manners that I think is from the 1930s. Let me double check. Anyway, yeah, book collecting is something that I have been, 1903, excuse me, it is much older than I thought. So yeah, a book that's over 100 years old, annotated with sass and style for $25 is pretty amazing to me. I have been book collecting for many years now at this point. I started back when I was in high school. I had a family friend who is a like big time proper book collector. That's like his passion and his hobby. Teach me everything that I know. And mostly the stuff that I collect, I just go around and buy like old books from library book sales. There have been a couple that I've purchased online. It's really different though from when I first started. Like the online purchases I've made, I did via Instagram. And that was honestly kind of like a big, I don't know, I had never done anything like that before. I didn't know anything about those channels. But usually I would get my old books like secondhand for pretty cheap from library book sales. And I would go and do that. I would collect a lot of like old fairy tale books. I'd collect editions of books that I really loved if I had like an old edition. So I have like good Jane Eyre, Alice in Wonderland, multiple copies of like those books because they're favorites. So it was really awesome to get to be around a bunch of other bookish people and have a fun time at the book fair. I'm sad it's over. Wish I could go back. Wish I could just luxuriate in the glory that is antiquarian books forever. So that's going to wrap up this vlog. Thank you very much for watching it. I hope that this was interesting to you in some way. Let me know what you thought of it. Yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.